Thank you very much, and I thank you all for your testimony. We'll now move into the question and answer portion of the hearing, and I will begin the questioning and recognize myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Phelps, welcome back. I'm glad that you've graciously agreed to appear before us again. I'm sorry that things haven't changed, but hopefully this time we'll make some change. Some of the ideas that Mr. Tigert put forward included an independent board where nobody can sit on the WADA who is connected with any country's Olympic committee. You think that's a good suggestion?
I think some of the things that Travis is asking for is here is very doable. And I think, again, we need to hold them responsible. You know, this is something that has been shown time and time again, going back to the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, right? And now we are in 2024 and we're still having the same thing. So they need to be held responsible. They need to be almost on a separate island by themselves. But we also need all of these the rules on the playing field need to be equal, period, right?
And not only the rules, but when they're investigated, they need to be investigated the same way, and every violator receive the same consequence no matter the nationality. Isn't that what your testimony is about? Correct.
And I'll share this. So there was a stat back in 2016 when I was swimming that I had, over 150 drug tests during that year. There were other delegations as a whole that were having 30 or 40. That's for all sports. I was getting tested 100 to 150 times myself in a year. Everybody needs to be that same way, right? I don't care where you're from, everything like that. It just needs to be a level playing field.
Thank you. Ms. Schmitt, you actually said in your written testimony some of the odd things that happened in order for them to get testing to make sure that the test was being done legitimately that were uncomfortable. I would recommend people read your written testimony. I'm not going to make you talk about that in front of us today, but it was interesting. Mike.
It's what we signed up for. Ever since 2007, when I was pulled into the USADA drug poll, I signed up for testing, and that requires showing up unannounced and having to pee in front of them. That requires us pulling our pants down below our knees, pulling our shirts up to our breasts, and having them watch the pee come out. So as graphic as that is what we signed up for a clean sport, and that's what we will continue to do to fight for this clean sport.
Thank you. I have to ask, when you found out some of your competitors in the Tokyo Olympics had tested positive, did you feel like a sucker for having undergone all the scrutiny that you've just described?
I stay in my lane. There are 7 other lanes, and I know that I have always competed clean. I leave it to the power of WADA to show up and do their job and keep supporting our athletes. They're not doing that. They have not supported us, and they're not showing up to continue to show that there is clean sport. So as an athlete, I know that I am clean, and I stand up every time on those blocks knowing that I'm going to do the best I can because of the hard work and the sweat and the tears that were poured into that.
On your relay team, am I correct to assume that not everybody on the foursome had gotten a gold somewhere in their career before that time? The one that came in second?
Somewhere in their career, they had a medal. Not everyone had a previous gold medal in the Olympics, but there was gold medals on that Olympic team.
Yeah.
And I would like to point out that when we did finish, they only drug test the first place team and the world record team, and as silver medalists, all 4 of us were asked to be tested, and we were tested in case of a positive test from the winning team.
Very good. I yield back now, recognize Ms. Castor, ranking member, for 5 minutes of questions.